Hello friends, welcome to all. Myself Vishal Jogidas. Today we will discuss about turbine flow meter and electromagnetic flow meter for flow measurement. And this topic is covered in the subject of industrial instrumentation. Now, what is the introduction about turbine flow meter? It is a non-friction displacement type of mechanical flow meter. It consists of two parts, the rotor with multiple blades and second one is variable reluctance tachometer. So these two parts are the main parts of this turbine flow meter. We know the working of rotor. Rotor is the rotating device, just like in a motor. This is the three-dimensional diagram of turbine flow meter. In center we can see here is a rotor. This one is rotor and this is a hub assembly. This is hub assembly, then here is the output. Pickup coil is here, pole pin is here. So these are the parts of turbine flow meter. Operation. The rotor consists of turbine blades. See, in this figure we can see here, this center is there is a rotor. Okay, and with that rotor there are a number of blades are inserted with this rotor. It consists of an axially mounted freely rotating turbine wheel or rotor. It means it consists of mounted on axially and will rotate freely. This device is known as rotor. So it is also known as turbine wheel or turbine rotor. It is placed in the path of fluid stream. Okay. So here we can see that fluid is flowing from here. Okay. So it is placed in the path, in between the path of this fluid. When the flowing fluid impinging on the turbine blades imparts a force on the blade surfaces. When the flowing fluid impinging on the turbine blades, it means it is connects with the turbine blades, then there is a force is induced on the blade surfaces. Due to this force, the rotor in the motion with an angular velocity v. So due to this force on the blade, the rotor will rotate and its angular velocity will be v. This angular velocity is proportional to the fluid of whose velocity to be measured. So angular velocity will be directly proportional with the velocity of fluid of whose. It means we have to measure the velocity of which fluid is directly proportional. So which velocity of fluid will be given by angular velocity. Turbine flow meter with an electrical output suitable for measuring the flow in the tubes as shown in figure. So if we require electrical output, and we know that electrical output is suitable for measuring, recording or indicating, then this arrangement is shown in figure. The turbine flow meter consists of rotor with multiple blades that we have already seen. The rotor is supported by ball bearing and is located centrally in the pipe. It means rotor is supported by ball bearings. We know that there are two types of bearings, but in this case the ball bearing is used. Another bearing is roller type bearings is also there and is located centrally in the pipe. So this is located centrally in the pipe that we have seen in here in this case. So this one is housing, then 2 is the support. Okay, this one is the support. 3 is bush bearing. Here we can see this is bushing type bearings. 4th one is rotor. In center there is, we can see, rotor. 5th one is ball. Here is the ball. And 6 is magnetic pickup. Magnetic pickup. A permanent magnet is encased in the rotor body. Permanent magnet is encased in the rotor body and pickup coil is placed on the frame as shown in figure 2. So permanent magnet is there in the rotor body and pickup coil is placed on the frame. On the frame there is a pickup coil. Here we can see magnetic pickup coil. Okay. This is the three-dimensional turbine flow meter. Here we can see blades. These are the blades. Whenever the fluid is flowing from this, at that time the blade will, there is a force on the blades and blade will rotate with velocity v, and that velocity, angular velocity, is directly proportional to the velocity of the fluid to be measured. So this way we can find velocity. Now working of a turbine flow meter. When the flowing fluid impinging on the turbine blades imparts a force on the blade surfaces, that we have already discussed. Whenever this fluid is flowing, at that time the turbine blades imparts a force on the blade surfaces. Okay, the angular velocity of the sensed by the means of a proximity type of peak of reluctance type. So angular velocity is measured with the help of proximity type of sensor, and in that there is a reluctance type sensor is there. Permanent magnet is encased in the rotor body, and each time the rotating magnet passes the pole of the coil. See, we have already discussed that permanent magnet is there in a rotor body, and whenever this permanent magnet is past the pole of the pickup coil, okay, whenever this rotating magnet will pass from the pole of the pickup coil, then what will happen? The change in the permeability of the magnetic circuit produces a voltage pulse at the output terminals. Whenever the permanent magnet is passed with the pole, at that time permeability of the material is changed, permeability of the magnetic circuit is changed, and due to this there is a voltage pulse at the output terminals. So this is the way how it is output is generated. These voltage pulses are counted by the means of electronic digital counter. So this voltage pulse can be counted with the help of a digital counter. The relationship between the volume flow rate and the angular velocity of the rotor is Q is equal to Kn. Okay, so this is the relationship between volume flow rate and angular velocity, where Q is the volume flow rate, N is the rotor angular velocity in radian per second, and K is the constant of any given meter. So this is the simple formula for relationship between volume flow rate and angular velocity. Alternatively, the frequency is converted into a voltage and is fed to analog or digital voltmeter. So frequency is converted into the voltage and is fed to analog digital voltmeter. The output voltage of analog digital voltmeter is proportional to the volume flow rate of the fluid. So the output voltage of analog or digital voltmeter is proportional to the volume flow rate of the fluid. It means the flow rate is directly given in terms of electrical voltage. Advantages: they have good accuracy, then they are easy to maintain and install. Another advantage is they provide excellent rangeability and repeatability. Okay, then they provide good pressure and temperature ratings. They allow fairly low pressure drop, and they can be compensated for viscosity variations. We know that viscosity of a different fluid is different, so it is compensated in viscosity variations. So these are the advantages of turbine flow meter. Now disadvantages: turbine flow meters are costly because there is a rotor and blades and permanent magnet and all these things are there. So due to this the cost is very high. Their use is limited for slurry applications. We can use only for slurry applications. It means pure liquids is not there. Turbine flow meters face problems because of non-lubricating fluids. So because of non-lubricating fluids, it faces some problems. So we can consider these are the as disadvantages. Now we will start another type of flow meter. It is electromagnetic flow meter, and this is the commercially available photograph of commercially available electromagnetic flow meter. So this is also electromagnetic flow meter. This is another design. What is the principle of electromagnetic flow meter? The basic principle of operation of electromagnetic flow meter is Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So this is the basic principle behind this meter. Now, what is the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction? First law states that whenever a conductor cuts lines of magnetic field, an induced EMF is generated. So this is the first law of electromagnetic induction. And what is second law? Second law states that the magnitude of this EMF is proportional to the rate of which these lines are cut. So this is the second law. It states that the magnitude of this EMF is proportional to the rate of which these lines are cut. The EMF is perpendicular to the plane of conductor and the magnetic field. So this EMF is perpendicular to the plane of conductor and the magnetic field. Okay. So this is the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. This is the animation how it is generated, but we will see first principle of electromagnetic flow meter. So here we can see two permanent magnets are there, N and S are the magnets, and flow is flowing from here. Okay, so this is the, here we can see electrode, it is connected with this pipe. Okay, and voltage is generated in between these two electrodes, and it is E0, it means output voltage. Okay, so this is the principle of electromagnetic flow meter. A permanent magnet or electromagnetic, it may either AC or DC around a non-conducting pipe. So we can see two permanent magnets are that we have already seen in a construction N and S. Okay, two electrodes are inserted in tube. Their surface is being flush with the inner surface of the tube and is contact with liquids. So here we can see these two electrodes are connected with the surface of the pipe, and its inner surface is directly connected with liquid to be flowing from the tube. Okay. As the conductive liquid flows through the insulated tube with an average velocity v, then it may be considered as a series of flat conductor discs passing through the magnetic field. So here one condition is that the liquid should be conductive. Okay, so conductive liquid flows through the insulated tube with a average velocity v. What will happen? It may be considered as a series of flat conductors, series of flat conductor discs passing through the magnetic field. Okay, so we can consider this as a this. Okay, this is the three-dimensional view of electromagnetic flow meter. Here we can see this one is the pipe, this is the electrode A, this is the electrode B, and there is a exciting coil. Then in center there is a variable magnetic field, and it is eddy current caused by changes in magnetic field. Okay, whenever there is a changes in magnetic field, eddy current is generated. So this is the way whenever the fluid is flowing from this pipe, and fluid will be conducting fluid. So at that time the voltage is generated across electrodes A and B. Now mathematical expressions. According to Faraday's law of induced EMF generated by E is equal to BLV. E is equal to BdV into minus 10 raised to minus 8. Now what is E? It is induced voltage in volts. B is equal to magnetic flux density in Tesla. D is equal to the distance between the electrodes in meter. V is equal to the average velocity of liquid in meter per second. V is equal to the average velocity of liquid in meter per second. Okay. So this is the mathematical expression and its abbreviations. So from equation 1 we can also write that V is equal to E upon BD into 10 raised to 8. The volume flow rate Q is equal to A into V, and where A is equal to cross sectional area of the pipe and V is equal to average velocity of the fluid. So by substituting this value of equation 1 in equation 2, we get Q is equal to E0 into A upon BD into 10 raised to minus 8. So Q is nothing but volume flow rate. As A, B and D are constants for a particular electromagnetic flow meter, the induced voltage is proportional to the volume flow rate. Okay. So A, B and D are constant. In this case we can say this A, B and D are constant. So this Q is directly proportional to output voltage E0. Okay. This is a circuit diagram of electromagnetic flow meter. Here we can see electromagnetic field B. Okay. And this red one is the pipe. And two electrodes we can see here, one is here and one is here, and in between these two we have connect voltmeter for measurement of EMF induced. And this is the exposed vessel or pipe we can say, and fluid is flowing from this pipe. The fluid should be conducting fluid. So conducting liquid is passing through this pipe. At that time what will happen, whenever it is passed through this electromagnet, there is induced in the voltage and it is measured by this voltmeter. So we have seen the working of electromagnetic flow meter. Now we will discuss about advantages. So they are available in large pipe sizes and capabilities. So electromagnetic flow meters are available for different sizes. So it is disadvantage. There is no obstruction and so there are less or no pressure drops. So we know that there is no obstruction and so there are less or no pressure drops. Obstruction means resistance in the path. So in a orifice plate we have seen that there is obstruction. It has a fast speed of response. Speed of response is fast in this case. The output voltage is linearly proportional to the input flow rate. So it's a relationship between the volume flow rate and output voltage is linear. So it is a advantage for this. The output voltage remains unaffected due to the changes in the characteristics of liquid. It means pressure, temperature, density and viscosity. So these are the characteristics of liquid. If in any characteristics there is some change, then output voltage will be unaffected. So this is the advantage for us. It is easy to install and maintain. So installation and maintenance is easy. Another advantage is it can be used as bidirectional meter. So we can use it as bidirectional meter. It means from left to right or from right to left. In both direction we can use. It can handle corrosive fluids. So in some type of meter corrosive fluids is not allowed, but in this case we can use corrosive fluids. It is available in several construction materials. It is available in several materials. So we have choices. Okay. So this is also advantage. Now talking about disadvantages. It can be used for measuring the flow rates of conductive liquids only. It means if the liquid is not conductive, then we cannot use this meter. If slurries are metered, the operating costs are high. Heavy slurries are metered. It means heavy slurry materials is there, then operating cost will be high. It cannot be used for metering liquids and have low conductivity. So, if the liquid is conductive but its conductivity is low, then also we cannot use this for electromagnetic flow meter. The flow pipe must continuously run full with a liquid at all times for proper functioning. So this is also considered as disadvantage because continuously run full with the liquid at all times for proper functioning. It means if there is a breaking in continuity, then there may be problem. The device must be well protected when it is used in electrical areas to avoid explosion hazards. So, due to this electricity and conducting materials, the protection should be there, well protected. System should be well protected, and it is used in electrical areas to avoid explosion hazards. So, this is considered as a disadvantage. Now, applications. It is particularly suitable for flow velocity or volume measurement of slurries, then corrosive acids, then sewage, and detergents, greasy and sticky fluids. Detergents, greasy and sticky fluids. So these are the typical applications of electromagnetic flow meter. Thank you.